Across the millennia, humanity has been bonded by the experience of staring up at the night sky, hypnotized by the infinite sea of stars and endless discoveries that can be found just beyond our reach. Although our current technology limits how far we can explore the great unknown, we freely play out in our dreams and in our art, with video games quite possibly being the most effective medium for experiencing that sense of wonderment. Plenty of games have captured fractions of this universal desire before, but Starfield is the first that I've played to deliver it en masse. Starfield takes place 300 years in the future, when humanity has harnessed gravity to outpace the speed of light and enable exploration to the farthest reaches of our galaxy. Outside the two governing bodies that have tried to bring order to the collective systems, the United Colonies and the Free Star Collective, the galaxy is a lawless place, akin to the Wild West of the 18th century. Explorers are free to stake their claim on any vacant planet that they find, and notorious gangs and pirates, like the Spacers and the Crimson Fleet, face very few consequences for terrorizing those living on the fringes just outside the government's reach. You start out as a newly recruited miner going through orientation. Shortly after you pick up your first mining laser, you discover a mysterious artifact that, when touched, floods your mind with visions of light and music. When you come to, some time has passed and your new employers remind you of who you are, triggering the familiar Bethesda character creation sequence. After spending an hour finessing my character's facial details with the seemingly endless possibilities available, it was time to choose my background. I went with Cyberrunner, which came with a history of using my wits and hacking skills to work both for and against the Megacorps. I was pleased to find that my background regularly came up in dialogue moments, especially when participating in a bit of corporate espionage, granting me another means to relate to or sway the person I was speaking with. Once you establish your identity, Barrett, a member of the Constellation Group, shows up and sends you on a journey. With a newly gifted ship at your command and the mysterious artifact in hand, you set off to New Atlantis, where you'll meet the rest of Constellation and learn about their mission to gather the artifacts. Since you are effectively a chosen one, uniquely experiencing visions when interacting with the artifacts, it falls on you to be the one to track them down. Each artifact that you find explains a small piece of the mystery surrounding them, bringing you closer to the core of Starfield's story. Without spoiling anything, Starfield's main storyline is possibly the strongest part of the entire game. Bethesda has delivered something truly special here, and I felt it with every twist, turn and gut-wrenching decision made along the way. Just like Constellation, I was compelled to unravel the mystery behind the artifacts, hungry for the promise of answers that were to come. This same caliber of storytelling extends to the side quests while working for each of the available factions, as well as through the random missions I picked up while exploring each system. The first faction I joined was Ryujin Industries on Neon. I felt right at home sneaking through the halls of their corporate competitors, stealing secrets and planting damning evidence. When I needed a break from corporate espionage, I'd be hopping between random star systems, at one point stumbling upon a strange craft piloted by a rogue AI that had initially been created during the early days of space exploration. On board, I run into some Ryujin agents, tasked with shutting down the AI and bringing it back to their HQ to be studied. At this moment, I had to choose whether to side with my fellow agents or the now sentient AI that wanted to live freely on its own terms. Using my persuasion skill, I was able to call off the agents, allowing the AI to grey jump away to pursue its newfound goal of exploring the universe. Every mission and character interaction feels so well thought out that even the most mundane tasks, from collecting debts for a Crimson Fleet thug to interrogating the locals for information on a target, felt compelling. Your story will, to some extent, be crafted by your own playstyle, and Starfield comes equipped with a comprehensive skill tree system broken out into 5 unique categories: physical, social, combat, science, and tech. In total, there are 82 skills that you can invest in across these categories, and there's no level cap, so you can technically become a master of all trades. It will take you a very long time though. At first, I went all in on tech, which gave me significant improvements to my boost pack capacity, which allowed me to hack higher level locks and improve the functionality and caliber of my starship systems. Later on, I focused on my social skills, and after 30 or so levels, my character was a hardened spy, capable of sneaking in and out of enemy bases and manipulating even the most confident of individuals to do my bidding. From the micro of character customization to the macro of space exploration, let's talk about the latter. You're equipped with a ship capable of jumping to any system within reach, so it's important that this feels as compelling as the story itself, and on this front, Bethesda delivers. Mostly. Each time I hop into the cockpit and fire up the engines, I'm captivated by the beautifully rendered animations of pressing the center console buttons and flipping the various switches to initiate the grey drive for my next jump. It's a little pleasure that, even 100 hours into my playthrough, never seems to grow old. Out in space itself, the thrill of dogfighting space pirates is a tad underwhelming. The mechanics of exchanging blows with enemy ships as they fly past me, then flipping my ship around to chase them down and turn them into space dust, is fun, it just isn't anything special. The joy here really comes from the operation of the ship itself, redirecting the ship's power into the defense and weapon systems, or targeting an enemy ship's engines to immobilize them, making them an easy target for boarding or complete obliteration. The biggest letdown was that I couldn't seamlessly fly my ship from one planet in the system to the next. Navigating between systems and planets and landing on a planet are all locked behind cutscenes. While sacrificing the latter for performance benefits was something I was okay with heading into Starfield, not being able to really fly my ship anywhere outside the bubble of fixed space orbiting each planet sucked some life out of the experience, making the space travel element of the game feel a little bit restrictive. The focus is more on what you actually do on each planet, exploring, scanning, battling and looting, rather than the experience of travelling between them. Visually, Starfield is absolutely gorgeous, and as disappointed as some may be at the locked 30 FPS on Xbox Series X, it never really bothered me. Whether I was hiking up a jagged cliff face to capture a photo of the neighbouring planet, or quickly dashing from my ship to the abandoned research base to take cover from the low temperature, each heavenly body had its own flavour and compelled me to not ignore the dangers and the beauty that they all offered. Sure, there are some limits on how far you can walk in one direction before having to hop back into your ship and select a new landing point somewhere else on the planet, but honestly, I prefer that to the constant procedural generation that yields regurgitated landscapes and biologically impossible alien physiology simply in the name of being boundless. Having some limitations in this regard makes the explorable parts feel more substantial than anything infinite procedural generation could provide. Additionally, the major cities you visit are brilliant in their own ways, exuding a distinct personality that you understand a little more with each visit. You can feel the stark difference between the carefully manicured streets of the United Colony's flagship city, New Atlantis, and the dangerous slums and back alleys of Neon City's drug-infested society. Of course, there are more impressively designed cities in other AAA games that are built to scale and you could easily get lost in, but what Starfield lacks in this area, it more than makes up for in the personality conveyed by the characters and the stories that inhabit the cities themselves. As for combat, well, it looks like Bethesda has finally nailed its combat bugbear too. Each weapon feels unique to operate, has a range of rarity, and is capable of being customized with a slew of mods which noticeably changes how the weapons perform. Combining this with the unlockable skills that allow you to combat slide or inflict more damage with particular weapon types, and you have a really flexible combat system. You can also approach situations stealthily by sneaking around and using silencers or melee weapons to dispose of enemies. After looting too much and painfully discovering the limits of my personal inventory and ship cargo capacity, I spent a fair bit of time getting to know the ship customization features. Initially, there are so many options that it can be overwhelming. You can effectively build a ship from the ground up by selecting the engines, weapons, internal layout, landing gear, cockpit, cargo hold, and even cosmetic add-ons to the hull of your ship. If you can think it, you can build it, so long as you have plenty of time and credits. Starfield, while being a brilliant game, is not perfect, and there are some shortcomings, with one being the individual character models, especially the facial animations, which seem like they're only the best of what last-gen technology can offer. But whatever mild disappointment I felt toward them initially, not unlike the space travel mechanics, quickly faded into irrelevance in face of the excellence the game accomplishes in other areas. Sure, there are some areas that Bethesda could have polished a bit more, but what they did accomplish is nothing less than extraordinary. The longer I played, the more surprises I encountered, like a random solicitor hailing me to remind me about my ship's extended warranty, or being kidnapped by the UC Navy and forced to go undercover in the Crimson Fleet. Every story, every mission, every conversation is valuable, and you can really feel the collective effort of Bethesda Studio in the end product. I can confidently say that Starfield is Bethesda's biggest achievement yet. It's a triumph for Bethesda, but even more so for every human who ever dreamt of a destiny born in the stars. And that is our Starfield review. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope you found this review useful in some way. If you did, go on down below, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and give the bell icon a ding so that you're notified whenever we've got new stuff for you to watch. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, cheers my dears.